Why do most retirees fail to reach their full retirement potential when it comes to their retirement goals? Well, we're going to answer that question today in our financial freedom video, so stay locked in. Hi, my name is Carson Graves, certified financial planner and president and CEO of the Retirement Education Center.
And my name is Andrea Graves, Director of Operations at the Retirement Education Center. And we want to thank you for tuning in to our Retirement Education Concepts videos. These videos were created to help to make the difficult and confusing retirement process simple.
Yes, because with so many retirement concepts out there, so many retirement strategies, and of course, with so many retirement products, it can become very difficult for consumers to digest it all. That's why we are so fortunate that we work with a team of expert advisors to help us build a financial roadmap that's going to let our clients know when, where, and how they can reach their retirement goals.
For additional concepts on how to maximize your retirement, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell to be notified when we upload new videos. Carson, you believe that understanding how people think and why they do certain things is essential to how they reach their retirement goals. So why is that?
I do, because when it comes to retirement goals and retirement planning, believe it or not, Andrea, it has very little to do with the stock market or the type of product that a client owns. It has really more to do with the psychology of their money, how they think about money. And so we're going to talk about the psychology of your money and the behavior that many people have that really causes them to fail to reach their full retirement potential. But before we do that, there are 2 rules to retirement income that we always like to give you. And what are those 2 rules, Andrea?
Well, rule number 1 is to never run out of money, and rule number 2 is to never forget rule number 1.
So let's go ahead and talk about the psychology of your money and the behavior tendencies that many of us tend to have if we do not have the proper plans in place.
Carson, behavioral finance has received a significant amount of press over the past decade, but you believe that it's still in the beginning stages for practical use for advisors. Why is that?
I do believe that it's still in the beginning stages because we still have to find out. And I think it's very important, by the way, for advisors to start thinking about the psychology for a client as opposed to just the technicalities of how you're building a portfolio. We have to understand why some clients panic sell, why some clients jump when they should stay or stay when they should jump, the irrational behaviors that certain people actually go through when they're dealing with their money. So as a financial advisor, I do think that we are heading in the right direction as it comes to the behaviors of many people when it comes to their retirement dollars and their investment tendencies. But it's still critical for us to continue to do the work here because a lot of retirees are still falling short and they're still falling into some of these same traps of buying high and selling low.
Well, Carson, first, what do you feel influences people's financial behavior?
Well, I think there are really 3 things that really come into play when it comes to a person's financial behavior. The first thing I would say is their value system, their values. What do they think about their money? How do they feel about taxes? What do they feel about spending money in retirement? How do they feel about keeping their money safe? How do they feel about, growing their money or basically their risk tolerance? So a person's value about their money is one of the main elements that come into play when we're talking about financial behaviors. Now, the second behavior that I believe will influence a client's money is the attitude about their money. Have they had positive experiences with the market or have they had negative experiences? Do someone weigh the elements of 2008 as their main anchor for their retirement situation? Or do someone look at the last 12 years of this bull run that we just came out of as the main anchor for their financial attitude? So I think the attitude about a person's money is the second element that must be studied when it comes to their financial behavior. Now, the last behavior that I think will really influence a person's financial behavior, Andrea, are their biases. Biases can be very, very dangerous. Do you have any mental shortcuts that you try to use in order to make a play with your money? For instance, a lot of people take politics very, very seriously, and I totally understand that. But I always encourage my clients to take politics out of their money. Some people may tend to say, I'm going to pull out of the market because there's a Democrat coming into the office, or somebody may say, I'm going to get into the market because there's a Republican getting into the office, or vice versa. But history will show you that it really doesn't matter who's getting into office and who's going to be serving as our president, because historically, it is shown that the marketplace has performed equally well or equally bad under a Democratic president or a Republican president. So these are some of the elements that I think people really need to iron out and make sure that someone can help them understand better.
Carson, can you explain one major behavioral financial misstep that you feel financial advisors should address?
Well, of course, there are many, but I think on the top of my list, Andrea, would be the mentality that many people have of buying high and selling low. This, to me, is the cardinal sin of investing. And well, Albert Einstein said it best, I believe, when he was giving us the definition of insanity, where you're doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. That is exactly what many people do when it comes to their money, when they're buying high and selling low. Because many people get into this notion of buying because of greed and selling because of fear. And if we as advisors could really help people get out of this fallacy, we can really help increase the success of their retirement.
So Carson, what are your thoughts on why people buy into this buy high and sell low fallacy?
I think there's three things that really lead people into this major misstep with their money. The one thing that I believe that gets people into this element of buying high and selling low is what is known as the herd mentality, Andrea. Now, when you're talking about the herd mentality, it's actually not a bad thing historically. When you're looking at, humans and you're looking at animals, when they're operating out of the herd mentality, if there's a predator coming against that person or against that group, if you're operating in the herd, it can protect you actually. But when you're talking about your money, this can be a bad thing if you start following the herd, because the herd can literally lead you over the cliff and it can be a detriment to your retirement success. So I think that if people can understand not to follow the herd and actually fight against their fears, they will be better off when it comes to avoiding the buying high and selling low fallacy. Another reason why I think people fall into this trap of buying high and selling low is that there's another factor known as the loss aversion factor. Now, this is really significant because when you're talking about loss aversion, what you're speaking of is that a person is actually 2 times more likely to feel the pain of a loss than they are to feel the joy of gains. So someone can have a 12% gain of their money in their portfolio and end up losing 6% at some given time, and they feel that 6% loss twice as much as they do feel joy for that gain. So controlling your emotions is another major issue here when it comes to falling into this trap of buying high and selling low. And the last reason I believe why people fall into these behavior fallacies with their money is probably the most important reason, and that's because they don't have a retirement plan. Studies have shown that 88% of consumers have never had a fully written retirement plan. In my personal financial opinion, if someone has a retirement plan, Andrea, they can avoid all of those fallacies that I just mentioned. They won't fall into the herd mentality because their plan will tell them that they're doing okay. They're still on the right track. They won't fall into the loss aversion factor because their plan is saying, yeah, we've already accounted for these down markets, so you need to continue to do what you're doing. There is no reason to actually pause. So if you have a retirement plan, it would absolutely provide the right structure for you to maintain your balance and keep your psychological financial behaviors at bay and lead you closer to your retirement success and the retirement goals that you had set out for yourself.
Well, Carson, this was very important to know, and so we want to thank you for your insight on this topic, and we want to thank you for watching. So if you felt this information was beneficial, please like this video and share with others.
So I really do hope that the information that we shared with you today will be beneficial in helping you understand your own psychological barriers when it comes to your money. Please note that these videos are created for educational purposes only, and that you should always seek out your own financial advisor, your own tax advisor, and your own attorney regarding your personal situation. And if you're looking for a fiduciary financial advisor to help you with these types of complex financial matters, we highly recommend that you utilize the link in our description below and go ahead and schedule a 1-hour free consultation with us today.
For more information about this topic or any of the other topics that we've shared in our other videos, please feel free to reach out to our office or leave any questions or comments in the section below. After this video, please check out our other videos that will give you tips on how to maximize your retirement. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and share it with a friend. Thanks for watching, and remember, if you have questions,
we have answers.